What's up, everyone? Thanks for listening into Game Mic. Action should resume as soon as your broadcaster is ready to go. This is Game Mic. Kill this for a second because it froze up my computer. All right, we are live in our first edition of the Max Preps Red Zone. We're going to kick this thing off here in just a few moments, but we're here just to let you know we are live. Games are starting to kick off around the section. A lot of national anthems taking place as we speak, and we'll get going here on the first ever edition of the Max Preps Audio Red Zone, powered by Game Mic. I'm here with Thomas Frey. I am Steve Montoya, both of us with MaxPreps.com. Thomas, we're going to dive in here a little bit about what we're doing tonight. Is we're going to be kind of your eyes and ears and your voice of what's happening around the section, whether you're sitting in the stands of one game or you're out enjoying an evening and you're just listening to us. We'll be bringing you all the scores we possibly can at whenever they come in, and we'll be doing that throughout the night. So Thomas, let's dive in. Good to have you here. And Division I's loaded. Sometimes these first round games could be lopsided, but there's a pretty good matchup, at least on paper, in Division I.
Yeah, thank you, Steve. We're going to have some great games tonight, and I can't wait for the matchup between number 8 Sheldon and number 9 Lincoln of Stockton. It's the only game tonight where both teams are ranked in the Sac-Joaquin section top 25, and both teams have a quarterback that's very efficient. Josiah Mercado, he has 28 touchdowns.
Keep going.
That's Kenyon Nelson. Not only does he have 23 touchdowns through the air and only 2 interceptions, but he also is a threat on the ground where he has 600 yards. Lincoln of Stockton's led in the running game by sophomore Jordan Thomas, and he leads the team with 806 yards and 13 touchdowns. Lincoln beat 4 playoff teams in the regular season, and top-ranked Folsom awaits the winner. Steve, who do you like in Division II?
You might want to pull your mic up maybe just a little bit, but yeah, I think Division II. It's Division II is an interesting one. It's pretty loaded. It'll be. We'll see some good games. Lodi, Vacaville. I think Antelope at Tracy should be an interesting game, just because Antelope has been on a tear. They have to come up to Division II after they've won their league title. In Division III, Roseville going on the road to Oakdale. Oakdale is always a tough team. Golden Valley, Wood Creek, that game's just kicking off. Looks like they're already underway at the Wood Creek and Golden Valley game. And so, we'll anticipate what happens in the next rounds, but we'll talk about that later on in the show as we get going here. As games start to get closer, and we can see who's playing who at in the next round. But in Division IV, this is an interesting bracket as well. Vanden, the division, the returning champions, are the 1 seed, but Division IV should be pretty good as well.
Yeah, I agree. I really like number 7 Capital Christian at number 10 Wood. Capital Christian started the year 0-3, but they've recovered a little bit, and now they're 4-5. Wood, they're 5-5, with 3 of their wins being against playoff teams, and it should be a good one.
Yeah, in Division V, this is a good one as well. Center Pioneer, that's a good matchup. We'll see Escalon. I don't think Escalon's going to have any trouble with Pacheco, but Escalon-Hilmar matchup in the next round should be really interesting. That's for sure. So let's bounce to D6. But before we do that, we already have a red zone alert. Vacaville looks to already be in the red zone right now, playing Lodi. So Vacaville, the home squad in this game, they're coming out strong already. They look to be in the red zone. So that's kind of what we'll be doing all night tonight. Is when teams score or enter in the red zone or anything like that happens, we'll be alerting you as soon as we can. So Division 6, all yours. What do you like in Division 6?
Yeah, in Division 6, right now Union Mine just kicked off to Sparta. And another matchup I really like is 12 Bridges against Modesto Christian. It's 12 Bridges' first playoff game. In their history, it's their first year playing, and they're 6-4 this year. Yeah, it should be a good one there.
Cool. Well, yeah, we have actually people out at games right now as well. We'll check in with them as we can. Sam Stringer, one of our Max Preps professional photographers, is actually at the Roseville Oakdale game. He'll be checking in when we get a chance. You can actually have his live audio just so you can kind of get a sense of him. He's actually on the ground at a game right now. So I know Sam, you'll be able, Roseville and Oakdale fans, you'll be able to get the photos of that game on Max Preps when Sam uploads that game. I don't know if he's listening in right now, but we'll check in with Sam when that game gets off and running. Cool. So yeah, we're here. Got this thing started. A lot of games are just kicking off. It looks like in the Vacaville game, Vacaville has just tried a field goal and it is unsuccessful. So Vacaville drove the length of the field. It looked like they had a good chance to score and put one in, but the field goal was up and it was no good. So Vacaville and Lodi, that's the number 9 versus number 8 Lodi, the Flames, 7-3 against Vacaville, 7-3. That's why, they're, if you look at kind of the projections of games based on the Max Preps and the Cal Preps rankings and the projections, a lot of games are projected to be blowouts tonight, Thomas. But there's some games that on paper are supposed to be really close. You talked about that Lincoln and Sheldon game. That one is projected. The projected score of that game is supposed to be 38-35. Looks like Turlock and Edison have kicked off. Wood Creek and Golden Valley have started already. Indercombe and Granite Bay, they're going. How about your games that you're keeping an eye on there?
Yeah, Sheldon and Lincoln has started, and Sheldon right now has the ball to start the game, close to midfield, and it looks like Esparto has inner Union Mine territory.
So about the 30-yard line for the 4-yard gain.
Yeah. Oh, that sound right there. That sound right there, Thomas, means we have a score already coming in. So Buhawk Colony is on the board first. Buhawk Colony is playing Los Banos. Buhawk has come out and scored already, so that game is 7-0. So we'll try to get you all the scores going on throughout the section. You could also tweet at Sac Max Preps if you want us to focus on a specific game or you got any questions right there. I got. All right, I got another score. Roseville, the Tigers traveling all the way to Oakdale. Roseville strikes first, and they have taken the lead on the Mustangs, 7-0.
All right,
and, well, hold on, we got to get that sound in for you if you got a score.
Gilbert drops back.
All right, you got a score update.
Yeah, Yuba City's already jumped on top of this Del Lago 7-0 early in the first quarter, and
wow. Oh, here we go. All right, there you go. What do you got?
And then we also have Rosemont taking an 8-0 lead over Ribbon.
Wow. Oh, wait. It looks like Golden Valley on the road playing Wood Creek. Golden Valley takes a 7-0 lead. That's a Division III game. The winner of that game gets to travel to Placer to play the 10-0 Hillman. Right? So that should be the Hillman staff, the Hillman players, all the teams that have a bye. They're out at games right now watching. So let's get to some of the scores. So Roseville takes the lead on Oakdale. Roseville and Oakdale. That's a Division III game. Roseville 5-4, Oakdale 6-4. Coach Trent Merzon, the Oakdale coach, he's been there for a long time. Oakdale is one of the top teams each year in Division III. Oakdale, though, I will say, is one of the lone teams in the section that never enters in stats on Max Prep. So I have to give Coach Merzon a hard time for that one. His daughter's a good softball player, so I see him all the time. But I'll give him a hard time because he never enters stats into Max Prep. So he's one of the rare coaches in the section to do that. All right, Argonaut and Colfax, keeping an eye on that game. That game, Colfax, if you've never been up to Colfax, it's just that old classic just school that's been around for a long time. That they've shrunk in size, but their football still remains strong. They're playing Argonaut. You want to hit on that game, or you got a score coming in?
A score.
Oh, well, hold on.
First down.
All right, we got more. I got to mute some things, but go ahead, score.
Yeah, Central Catholic, they've jumped out to a 7-0 lead over Stag, and the winner of that game will face number 4 Monterey Trail in the Division I bracket. Monterey Trail 8-2. Their only losses this year are to I believe.
Yeah, they lost to Folsom.
And Dallas.
Yeah, so Monterey Trail had a pretty tough preseason. When you come out and play Folsom, that's tough, but they bounced back and won. So yeah, Central Catholic, like you said, the winner of that game will go to Monterey Trail. The winner of the Elk Grove Johnson game travels up to play Oak Ridge. So that will be a good game too. I mean, when we get into these second round games, we'll talk about those later in the show once these games get to halftime and stuff. But those games are, always classic games. That's for sure. So yeah, we're getting rolling here, getting started. We got scores on the board. I gotta see.
It's gonna bring up third.
All right, another score coming in. Escalon gets on the board first against Pacheco. Pacheco is one of the schools that got bumped down a division because some other teams had to go up. Escalon, you could say there's a lot of controversy with Escalon in terms of seeding because Escalon was one of the teams that did not get a bye, and Escalon in the next game set up for Escalon would be against Hilmar. And that is, I mean, those are two teams that play each other all the time, almost twice a year. So for them to meet in the second round, which everybody anticipates, that is going to be a very, very good game. That's for sure. So, all right, Capital Christian on the board. They look to be out in front of Wood, 6-0 right now. Capital Christian, we were talking about them earlier, Thomas. Kind of a team that started 0 and I think 4 or 5, and since then have rolled off some wins. They got to their 4th win. Now they're in the playoffs. Now they're in Division 4. They have a chance to make a deep run in D4.
Yeah, they certainly do, and one of the players leading the way is senior Kanye Clark. He plays both ways, and whenever he takes a handoff, he averages more than 20 yards a carry. And then on defense, he has 2 interceptions. He's a guy to watch in this game.
Okay, that's good. Yeah, and Capital Christian, we were talking about them as well, like I mentioned earlier, and they cannot host any playoff games. So they are the higher seed with Will C. Wood, but they're actually on the road. So got a couple more scores
We'll take a time.
to come in, picking up some audio here, but I got a score too. Vacaville, I don't know if I mentioned this one. They went up 7-0. What do you got, Thomas?
Yeah, I have the Sparto going up 7-0. They scored on the first drive against Union Mine.
Okay, so Union Mine and Sparta. That's a 8, right? That's the 8 versus 9 seed. Sparta at home.
Yep, in D6.
All right. We also have Granite Bay and Inderkum underway. We're keeping an eye on that game. That is a very good game in the Division 2 bracket. No score in that game. The winner will head to Downey, undefeated Downey, next week. It looks like it's Granite Bay that has entered the red zone in that game. Edison and Turlock. That game is 0-0 right now. Argonaut and Colfax 0-0. And we are actually, Thomas, we're going to actually for the first time go out and see if Sam is available to talk. Sam, are you able to hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you guys. Can you hear me?
Yep, got you loud and clear, Sam. What's going on at the Roseville-Oakdale game?
So right now it's 4 minutes left in the first quarter. Roseville is on the 18, and it's 4th and 3 right now. Oakdale didn't score their first drive. They had to punt the ball away to Roseville, and that's where we are right now.
All right, Sam, thanks so much. We'll come back to you in a little bit later. Again, Sam will have a full gallery from this game up on Max Preps. And Sam's a awesome photographer. Has been around with Max Preps for a long time. He will have an amazing gallery, as always, up from that game. That's Roseville, the 10 seed, at Oakdale, the 7 seed. So far, upset alert right there, as Sam mentioned. Let's see.
I finished.
You got a score, Thomas, or what?
Yeah, it looks like Modesto Christian and 12 Bridges are tied up 6-6, and also Turlock is up on Edison 7-0.
Okay, all right, that's good. So yeah, we're if you're just joining us now, or if you've been listening to us, Steve Montoya here with Thomas Freb, Max Preps. We're bouncing around the Sac-Joaquin section. 23 games going on Friday night. Jesuit will play next or tomorrow. It looks like Turlock and Edison have. Looks like there's an update in the Turlock Edison game. We're actually going to go to Chris Rivas. Looks like there's some action there, right, Chris? Turlock and Edison.
Yeah, Turlock just drew some blood, made the field goal, and now it's time for the kickoff and change hands. So we'll see what happens if Edison can come back and tie the score up.
All right, there you go. There's another update for you. Turlock striking first, and that was a controversial game. Again, when you look strictly at seedings, a lot of people would say, "Hey, Edison is a league champ, and they're on the road to face a non-league champ in Turlock." But Turlock had the higher rating, and the committee gave them the home game. And right now, Turlock proven to be the right choice for that decision. So, what do you know? We got a score.
Yep, in Central Catholic, they are at 15-0 right now. The extra point is pending. They got a safety, and then they scored on a Joel Roberts rushing touchdown to make it 15-0, and that game is still in the first quarter.
Fantastic. So, a lot of scores bounce around. That Central Catholic team, the Raiders, don't sleep on them. I don't think many people do. This is one of the first years that they've had to go into Division One. They beat Manteca. Manteca, everybody has been saying, is one of the toughest teams in the entire section. Central Catholic beat them. Central Catholic wins the Valley Oak League, but draws the 5 seed, and now they'll have to go on the road next week to play Monterey Trail, pending they hold on to win this game, which I would it would be a massive upset if Stag, who barely got into the playoffs, um, beats them. So right now we are going to take just a quick little commercial break, get some game mic promotion going in here, but we're on Max Preps. We'll be back in 60 seconds.
Hey everyone, this is Chris Rivas, co-founder of Game Mike. Thank you for listening in. Game Mike was built so any school, any program, any sport, anytime can create a live audio broadcast. We believe audio brings moments to life. Download Game Mike today in the app and Google Play Store. Game Mike, it's in the emotions.
Are you a parent with multiple active kids? Are you at one event while your spouse is at another? That's where Game Mic comes in, the free app that allows anyone to broadcast live audio so that people can listen on the go and feel as if they were there. Game Mic, it's in the emotions.
I really want to be a sports broadcaster, but not sure how to get started.
Have you done any broadcasting before?
No, but I know I need experience, but just not sure how.
You should really download the Game Mic app. It allows anyone to create and broadcast at any time.
What games can I call?
Any youth sporting event. You can even share it out with family and friends so they can listen in.
That sounds great. I'll download it today.
Have you always wanted to be a sports broadcaster?
All right, we are back live here in the Max Preps HQ. We're providing live updates from around the section just to get you caught up on some scoreboards right now. Escalon just took a 14-0 lead. Dixon leading Foothill 7-0. Nevada Union and East Union. Battle of the Unions. This one is all our East Union's up 8-0 in that one. Let's see if some other scores. Thomas, you got any scores on your end?
Yeah, 12 Bridges converted the 2-point conversion, and we reported before the break that game was tied 6-6. Now 12 Bridges is up 8-6.
Okay, so yeah, we'll be bouncing around scores for sure. Ooh, this is kind of a shocking score for me. Tracy, I guess it shouldn't be that big of a shock, but Tracy up 14-0 right now on Antelope. Capital Christian 7-0. Lincoln ahead of Natomas 7-0. We appreciate anybody also doing live scores out there for Max Preps, as that helps us as well. Thomas, you got something?
Yeah, Sheldon just scored a touchdown to take a 6-0 lead, and the extra point is pending.
Okay, so that's a big one. Sheldon takes the lead in that one. Looks like center has gone up on Pioneer 7-0, and yeah, so right out of the gate, we're getting a lot of scores in that game. That one's interesting too. That Sheldon Lincoln game. You mentioned it earlier in the show. I mean, Lincoln's ranked 16th overall, Sheldon 21st. So by rankings, that would be a bit of an upset in that game. So yeah, we'll continue to bounce around scores, and we'll look ahead to matchups. Let's look ahead a little bit right now while we got a second, because the winner of that Sheldon Lincoln game, it's not an easy next game for them, Thomas.
Nope, they would go on the road to face number 1 Folsom. Folsom, they're a very good team. So it'll be and then after Folsom, it would be either the winner of Monterey Trail versus the winner of Central Catholic and Stag would face Folsom in the semifinals.
Okay, it looks like Roseville turned the ball over on downs to Oakdale, but then Oakdale fumbled, and now Roseville has a chance to get into the red zone and punch that one in. Oh, looks like we got a score coming in. What do we got, Thomas?
Yeah, Bradshaw Christian had the ball at midfield, and Mateo Mojica rushed for a 50-yard touchdown. And Bradshaw Christian leads 7-0 over Delhi.
All right, so this a small school game there in Division 6, and the thing tonight too is Division 7, the entire bracket. That's a 1 through 8 seeded bracket, they don't actually get going until next week for that one. All right, we got another score coming in.
In their first playoff game ever, 12 Bridges just scored again. They are leading 14-6 after Nathan Crawford scored his second rushing touchdown of the day. The extra points pending, but yeah, they scored fast, 2 touchdowns already midway through the first quarter, and the extra points good, so they're up 15-6.
All right, we're gonna go out to Sam. Sam's at the Oakdale-Roseville game. Sam, what do you got?
So, first quarter has just ended. Roseville is still up 7-0, but they are on the 1-yard line with third down coming up.
All right, thanks so much, Sam. Sam out at the Roseville-Oakdale game, taking pictures for Max Preps and doing a great job tonight, actually supplying us with some live updates from the game. Looks like Golden Valley and Wood Creek still a 7-0 game there. And looks like I got a score coming in. Lincoln, the Fighting Zebras from the Foothill Valley League, they're up 14-0 right now on Natomas. Natomas, Foothill, and Johnson all tied for a league title. All 3 of them got into the playoffs, shook the playoffs up a little bit. Natomas on the road to play Lincoln. Lincoln, the 5 seed, looks like they're up in this game 14-0. Capital Christian, the higher seeded team, but actually on the road right now. The first quarter is about 4 minutes left to go in that game, 7-0. And so, yeah, Thomas, we're seeing some early action here, some good games. I mean, really, not a ton of blowouts currently going on between any of these games.
Yeah, absolutely. And even Lodi, who is down 7-0 to Vacaville, just scored a touchdown. So that game's now 7-6.
Okay.
And yeah, we've got a lot of close games here.
Cool. All right. I know Josh Carson is out as well. If he's following a game or ready to give an update, just unmute yourself. We'll get you going here. I know he's a former Roseville Tiger, so I'm sure he's interested in Sam's updates from Roseville and Oakdale, and what we're seeing so far, and the good updates that Sam has been providing us is Roseville right now on paper, technically, with an upset Bruin out in Oakdale. I don't know, Thomas, if you've ever been to an Oakdale game or been out and watched them play, but it's a pretty cool atmosphere. It's just that old school kind of feel to it. So, yeah, Roseville going out there, that's a tough place to play. And the Tigers up early in that one.
Cowboy capital of the world, Oakdale, California.
That's right. I'm sitting next to a Modesto guy who's actually at the Edison game out there. So that's right. So the Sheldon game's close. We thought that game was going to be close. Turlock is now up 14-0 on Edison. Johnson, Elk Grove, that game. We'll have to see if we get the score on that one coming in soon. I imagine Elk Grove will have their way in that game. East Union. So East Union, this one's an interesting one. Nevada Union had to travel to East Union, 115-mile trek for the Miners to go play in that game. That is the third furthest drive of the weekend, according to Will DeBoard and his fun facts. Delta at LeGrand and D7 next week will be a 128-mile trek, and Gustine and Woodland Christian as well next week. That's a 125-mile trek to play a playoff game. So those are some far drives. So Escalon up 21-0. If you're just joining us, we talked about this earlier, but Escalon and Hilmar, that'll be a massive game next week. So looks like a score's in from 12 Bridges and Modesto Christian. 12 Bridges, the Raging Rhinos are up 15-6 on the Modesto Christian Crusaders. So lots of good stuff going on right now. Thomas, anything from your side you're seeing?
Just back to the distances, the winner of the East Union Nevada Union game will have another long trip next week, regardless of who wins, as they'll be heading out to number 3 West Park in the Division 4 bracket. West Park's an 8-1 team, and their only loss is to undefeated Placer, and they lost to them 42-35 earlier this year.
That's right. And then, some other games. Turlock and Edison right now. Turlock is up 14-0. It won't be a far drive for Turlock. They'll go to Stockton if they continue this game to play St. Mary's in round 2. The Yuba City and Vista Del Lago game. So Yuba City, the Honkers, got to 4 wins, but I saw a lot of kind of social posts about them. Don't sleep on them. They're a team on the rise right now, playing good football. Had a forfeit by their last week, so they basically got a couple weeks to get healthy. Now they're on the road right now, and they're shocking Vista Del Lago 7-0. That would be a pretty big, massive upset in the Division 3 bracket. Vista Del Lago coming off a very tough loss last week to in-league rival Christian Brothers, which allowed Christian Brothers to have the 4 seed and a first-round bye in Division 3. And Division 3 is real tough. I mean, you have Placer, you have Patterson as the 2 seed, and you have Grant, the 3 seed in Division 3. I mean, Grant, not many people would ever think Grant would be a Division 3 team, but the winner of that Yuba City Vista Del Lago game gets to travel to play Grant.
Yeah, Grant, they have had an impressive season. They lost Monterey Trail by 7 recently, and yeah, it should be interesting to see.
Yep. So Argonaut and Colfax. This is a good one. 4-6 team. Argonaut barely got into the playoffs, squeaked in, and now they're the 11th seed. They're playing the 6th seed Colfax. Argonaut, second straight year in the postseason. Remember, Argonaut was a state champion last year, so they're no joke. But obviously, you graduate a lot of talent. A new coach there, things are different. But the Mustangs have a history of doing well in the playoffs, and obviously so does Colfax. Very good team. This game's 0-0 right now. So, what do we got? We got a score update.
We have an update in the Elk Grove game. Elk Grove is up 14-0 over Johnson. Johnson went for it on 4th down from their own 17, and Elk Grove was all over it, and they scored a touchdown. That game has 28 seconds left in the first quarter. And like Steve said earlier, the winner of that game will be on the road next week to face number 3 Oak Ridge on the road.
All right, looks like Modesto Christian has punched one in on 12 Bridges. It looks like Ross Wedeman, a 3-yard pass to Jeremiah Bernard, and the Crusaders come within 3 of those Raging Rhinos. 12 Bridges. If you've ever driven along Highway 65 right there, you can see the nice new campus to your right as you drive out to Lincoln. So that looks like that one's going to be a good game.
Yeah, it does, and it's close so far. Both teams are 6-4, and the winner of that will face number 2 Houston next week, and they're 8-2.
Yep. So Capital Christian has taken a 14-0 lead on Will C. Wood. Eddie Brusalis, a 35-yard pass to Malachi Tioni Tahutani. for the TD, 14-0 in that game. So Capital Christian in the Division 4 off to a good start right now. The winner of that game goes and plays Casa Roble. Now, if you're Casa Roble, and you got Capital Christian coming in for a second round matchup, that's not an easy matchup. Capital Christian has a lot of talent. They played a pretty tough schedule to start the season, and so that's going to be a tough game for the Rams. Casa Roble thought they would get the 1 seed. They deserved very good argument on why they should have got the 1 seed, but the section, as Will DeBoard said during the live show, ultimately gave the 1 seed to Vanden because they are the defending champions and they have a lot of their talent back.
Yeah, that's a really interesting case. Both teams are 9-1. Vanden's only loss was to Vacaville, 28-13, while Casa Roble's only loss was to Placer in a crazy game, 37-35.
Yep, and it looks like Argonaut will be about 10 yards outside the red zone, looking to put up the first points in that game. So we're kind of bouncing around. Looks like Roseville has just scored another TD for Oakdale. And Roseville's no joke. Roseville played Placer very tough to open up the year. If Roseville was to get by Oakdale, Roseville would be on the road again, and it would be another very far drive for the Tigers, as they would have to head to the 2 seed in Patterson. Looks like the Bulldogs, the Vacaville Bulldogs, have gone up 20-6 on the Lodi Flames.
And Escalon, they're pulling away. They're up 28-0 now over Pacheco.
Yeah, that one was anticipated to be that type of game, and everybody's already looking forward to next week. If you have not seen just like really, really, really good small school football, there probably won't be a better environment than next week when Hillmar and Escalon. Sure, you can go to some of the bigger games and there'll be maybe more people at some of the bigger games, but just a jam-packed stadium with people who just absolutely love their football. That'll be that game next week. Escalon and Hillmar division. That'll be a round 2 game, which is pretty crazy to think. So Wood Creek and Golden Valley. Now it says Wood Creek is actually up 7-0. So we'll have to check that one because we had reports that Golden Valley took the lead in that game. But we'll check with somebody on the ground there. We actually have somebody on the ground. We'll make sure.
Yeah, Steve, I've been monitoring. This is Josh checking in now. I've been monitoring that one too. According to our website, we have Wood Creek up, and it looks like on the broadcast they just scored as well as they're in the Maroon at home. So
Okay.
That's scored 14-0 on that one.
Gotcha. Okay, so Wood Creek's actually up 14-0. Got it.
Yep, playing in their home game, opening round.
Yep, Timberwolves haven't had a playoff game at home, and I don't a very long time, if ever. And next week they will be on the road. Whoever wins that game to play Placer, and Wood Creek's nobody to mess around with. Wood Creek is actually the largest school in Division 3, over 2,100 kids. They had to come down from Division 2 because Antelope went up to Division 2. So Wood Creek, if they continue this, will be just over 2,100 kids, where Placer will be at 1,400 kids. So that will be a good game for sure.
Interesting to know. And with the Antelope Tracy game too, they're currently down 14-0 to the Bulldogs of Tracy, but looks like they're driving. They have the ball on Tracy's 42-yard line. So that's another one that we're watching in on opening round action with Antelope at Tracy.
Got it. All right. Well, thanks Josh. Keep jumping in if you have some updates here. And uh, it looks like Merced and series game. I don't think we've given an update on that one yet. Thomas, what do you got?
Yeah, Merced is up 14-6 right now, and that game is in the second quarter.
All right, Merced and series. Series is one of those teams who just squeaked into the playoffs. They were kind of a bubble team coming into this game, or coming into the last couple weeks to see if they would even get into the playoffs. They get in, and they are the 12 seed. Merced, the 5 seed. Merced 6-4. Series are like, wait, series was 8-2. But they actually had a very low rating based on the strength of their schedule. So it looks like Buhawk Colony and Los Banos is a very good game. That game is a 14-13 game per the score reported into Max Preps, with the Thunder of Buhawk Colony with the 1 point lead in that game going on right now. So we're going to take just a quick 60-second break. We'll be right back here on Game Mike and Max Preps.
I really want to be a sports broadcaster, but not sure how to get started.
Have you done any broadcasting before?
No, but I know I need experience, but just not sure how.
You should really download the Game Mike app. It allows anyone to create and broadcast at any time.
What games can I call?
Any youth sporting event. You can even share it out with family and friends so they can listen in.
That sounds great. I'll download today.
What's up, everyone? Thanks for listening into Game Mike. Action should resume as soon as your broadcaster is ready to go. This is Game Mike.
Hey everyone, this is Chris Rivas, co-founder of Game Mike. Thank you for listening in. Game Mike was built so any school, any program, any sport, anytime can create a live audio broadcast. We believe audio brings moments to life. Download Game Mike today in the app and Google Play Store. Game Mike, it's in the emotions.
Have you always wanted to be a sports broadcaster but didn't know how to get started? Well, Game Mike allows you to go out and practice.
All right, we're back here in the Sac-Joaquin section red zone. Sam just sent me a text that Roseville just scored another TD. They're up 21-0. We have somebody on the ground at the Yuba City and Vista game. Yuba City scores a second touchdown with 4:11 left in the second quarter. That one's a bit of a shocker, I will admit, as Yuba City is pulling away a little bit. Vista can score quick, so don't count that one out. Haven't mentioned this game in a little bit, but Dixon, the Rams, are out in front of Foothill 10-0. The Roseville game, they actually missed their PAT, so it's actually 20-0 in that game.
Yeah, in the Lincoln versus Sheldon game, Sheldon's up 6-0, but Lincoln just got into the red zone on a QB scramble, and it's 1st and 10.
All right, looks like the Crusaders have taken the lead on the Raging Rhinos. Modesto Christian goes up 19-15. It's actually a pick six by Judah Flores, 64-yard return per our Modesto Christian live score on Max Prep. So that's a good one between the Raging Rhinos. I like just saying Raging Rhinos. Yeah, Wood Creek up on Golden Valley. We mentioned that one. And Center and Pioneer Center. The lower seeded team has beaten the Patriots 7-0.
Yeah, and Steve, an update out of Tracy, Current Borders of Antelope, 3-yard rushing touchdown. So they're on the comeback trail. They're now down 14-7 after a good PAT. And they're in the second quarter on that one.
Okay. Yeah, he can sure play the running back from Antelope. There's no doubt about that. So the Argonaut Colfax game is still a close one. Still no score in that game. What's going on, Thomas, with that? And you may have just mentioned it here just a minute ago, but I missed it. What's going on with that Sheldon Lincoln game?
Right now, it's Lincoln still has the ball around the 15-yard line, and it's fourth down, and looks like they are still deciding on what they're going to be doing, but the quarterback's still on the field.
Okay, so we'll keep an eye on that game. Obviously, that game is a massive game between two very good teams. Now, the winner does get Folsom next week. So, just to run down Division One, the Central Catholic and Stag winner, which is going to be Central Catholic, they're going to go to Monterey Trail. Elk Grove likely to beat Johnson here. They're going to go to Oak Ridge. Turlock Edison, as it looks now, Turlock will be making their way to St. Mary's if the scores hold up. It looks like the Bradshaw Christian, the Pride, have a 15-0 lead in their game over Delhi in that one. So Bradshaw Christian, the Pride, rolling right now.
Yeah, and Sheldon just stopped. Lincoln has stopped on our fourth down. Number 23, who's Ethan Scott on the roster, came in fast and got the sack. And Sheldon will take over on downs around the 20-yard line. 6-0 Sheldon in the second quarter right now.
All right, looks like Wood Creek starting to pull away. 20-0 lead in that one. So that's per the live scoring that's going on, and now 21-0 game as Wood Creek pulling away from Golden Valley. So we're already starting to see some of the games that potentially can happen next week. That would be Wood Creek on the road playing Placer, the 10-0 Hillman. No easy game for either squad there. Looks like the Fighting Zebras of Lincoln, 21-0 game on the Nighthawks, Natomas.
Yeah, and Steve, speaking of 20-point leads, looks like Roseville's jumped out to a 20-point lead of their own. Had Carson Ericart, pretty sure I had his dad as a teacher at one point, recovered a fumble by Oakdale and had it on their own 1-yard line. And Brandon Graydon rushed it in 1-yard rushing touchdown. So I think we have Sam down there on the sideline as well if he's our photographer at that game. But that seemed to happen 2 minutes ago on the live score update. But now Oakdale is driving to try to get back to it.
Yep. And just to give you a little live sounds from a game, it's Sam's audio coming in the background as Roseville is pulling off the upset over Oakdale. So Merced and Ceres, the winner of that game, will head to play Christian Brothers. The one game that is not happening tonight is in Division 1, or excuse me, in Division 2, and that is the Jesuit game. So Jesuit is actually playing tomorrow. So 23 games tonight. Gregory and Jesuit will be playing tomorrow. So still one more game to be played. I know we had Edison and Turlock. We have an update from that Turlock Edison game. Let's go to Chris. I believe he's at that one.
Yes, sir. Bulldogs up 28-0. Looks like they're getting past Edison pretty easy. I'm not sure who they have up next, Steve, but maybe you could fill us in on next week's matchup for Turlock.
Yeah, Turlock's headed to Stockton. They will play St. Mary's in round 2. So this is one of those things. We saw a lot of this on Twitter. I did this week, and during the playoff seedings, it was, why does Edison not get the home game? They're the league champion, and this is where the ratings, sometimes people give it a lot of slack and don't agree upon it. But Turlock was rated much higher than Edison, even though Edison was the league champ. Basically, the rating saying, well, if Turlock was in Edison's league, Turlock would be the league champ and then some as well. So I know a lot of people don't agree on the ratings all the time, but really in the end, a lot of times they work out very well. So looks like JT Foreman was the gentleman who scored for Turlock, 28-0.
Yeah, Turlock, they've had a tough schedule. They beat Rockland to open the year, and then they've also played Clovis West and Antigua, who they lost to, but they've definitely had a tough schedule.
All right, scores in. It looks like Dixon has started to pull away from the Mustangs of Foothill. Braden Bombach with a 3-yard rushing touchdown per our live scores on the ground. Dixon will be in Division 5, and Dixon looks like, let's pull up the bracket for Division 5. Thomas, you might have that one on hand, but if not, I have it right here. And it looks like Dixon will be headed to Liberty Ranch. Liberty Ranch undefeated this year, and they got a 3 seed.
Yeah, Liberty Ranch is very good, and they're led by Arthur Drager at running back, and they've just had a great season, and yeah, we'll see what they can do in the playoffs.
Yeah, and right, you're thinking, wait a minute, a undefeated, 3 seed, but you also have to look at Sutter was undefeated, that got the 1 seed, and then Sonora got the 2 seed. They may not have been undefeated, but Sonora, incredibly tough schedule. So it just kind of goes back to that rating argument and discussion. Sometimes, yes, a team might have a better record, doesn't necessarily mean that they're the better team as far as on paper.
Yeah, and Central Catholic, they're up 30-0 now with about 8 minutes left in the second quarter. So it's looking more and more likely that they will be the ones to head to Monterey Trail next week for that matchup.
All right, Sam Stringer, our photographer at the Oakdale and Roseville game, just provided us with an update. Oakdale Mustangs just got their first points of the night, and so you can't count them out yet. Oakdale, like I mentioned earlier, coached by Trent Merzon. I can't tell you who his top players are or anything like that because he doesn't put in stats, but he's got a good team, and he runs a good offense up there, out there in Oakdale. So, yeah, with that said, we'll take a short little 60-second break here. We'll be back on the Sac-Joaquin section Red Zone, powered by Game Mic.
Have you always wanted to be a sports broadcaster but didn't know how to get started? Well, Game Mic allows you to go out and practice, just like we need to practice as athletes. You can't get better without work, so gain that experience on Game Mic.
Are you a parent with multiple active kids? Are you at one event while your spouse is at another? That's where Game Mic comes in, the free app that allows anyone to broadcast live audio so that people can listen on the go and feel as if they were there. Game Mic, it's in the emotions.
I really want to be a sports broadcaster, but not sure how to get started.
Have you done any broadcasting before?
No, but I know I need experience, but just not sure how.
You should really download the Game Mic app. It allows anyone to create and broadcast at any time.
What games can I call?
Any youth sporting event. You can even share it out with family and friends so they can listen in.
That sounds great. I'll download today.
What's up, everyone? Thanks for listening into Game Mike. All right, we're back. What are you laughing at around the world, guy?
The best sound I've ever heard.
Yeah, that's right. Score
Stoney.
update.
Score update.
All right, in the second quarter, East Union is up on Nevada Union, 20-13. It looks like Elk Grove now is pulled away, and they're up 28-0 over Johnson. Turlock's 28-0 over Edison. Lincoln looks like Natomas just scored. Lincoln is up 21-6. And nope, it looks like Antelope and Tracy are all tied up at 14.
I knew that game. I just had a feeling that game was going to be a good one. Antelope, they're hot right now. They beat some really good teams, and they got one of the best running backs in the section. So East Union, let's talk about that one. Nevada Union's actually making it a little closer than earlier. East Union would head to West Park. West Park would be or is the 3 seed, the first home playoff game ever for West Park. Obviously, only their second year with varsity. But if you've not been to a West Park game, I highly recommend going out and watching a football game out there. It's like you're at a college watching a game for sure.
Yeah, definitely one of the nicest facilities in the area, if not the state or the country.
Yeah.
And they've already, if Nevada Union beats East Union, West Park's already played Nevada Union, and they beat them 36-6 earlier this year.
Yep. All right, score Wood Creek. So pretty much all but done for the Timberwolves over the Cougars there. Wood Creek 28-0. I know no game's over until it's really over, but 28-0 there. Look at that. Thanks, sir. All right. Looks like Capital Christian and Will C. Wood game is still 14-0 too. Thomas and as we're waiting on scores and things to happen, we can also jump in and just make sure people know where teams will be playing next week. If Lincoln beats Natomas or vice versa, it doesn't matter. One of them would be on the road to play Kimball. Kimball, a Valley Oak League team. They're the 4 seed in Division 4. That Los Banos Buhawk Colony game, the winner of that game goes and plays the 1 seed in Vanden. That's Division 4. So looks like Rosemont and Ripon. Looks like that one. Forgot the last time that we updated that game, but the Wolverine of Rosemont up 24-7 in that game.
And we had an update coming in from Granite Bay as well, the D2 bracket. This D2 bracket has a pretty strong SFL presence. DO at number 2. Rockland's a 4 seed. Granite Bay's a 6 seed. They're playing host to Inderkum tonight. QB with a nice, as he's getting tackled, a flick pass to his receiver into the end zone for the touchdown, called back because of a holding. And so Granite Bay had to settle for a field goal. They're up 17-0.
That's a good one. I mean, you said it right, Josh. I mean, a very SFL heavy bracket. The 6 seed is Granite Bay. They'll travel to play Downey next week if they hold on to win this. Downey, 10-0 team, 10-0 team. Again, they're a team that says, wait a minute, you have a team like Manteca and a team like Del Oro as the 1-2 seeds. Both didn't win their league, but again, these are different leagues. And the Valley Oak League is stacked. You have Central Catholic and Manteca and Oakdale Kimball. I mean, you have these teams in there. And then the SFL, if Whitney would have got to 4 wins, every single team in the SFL would have made the playoffs.
Yes. I
But
remember hearing about that.
yeah,
And yeah, not to cut you off too, but there's a great matchup to anticipate there that would be in the semifinals. Should Do and Downey advance to their quarterfinal matchup, Downey would face Granite Bay or Intercom, as you said. Tracy or Antelope would travel to Do next week, and that Tracy and Antelope game is an update. Antelope came back, scored another touchdown, knotted it up at 14, but then Tracy, 28-yard rushing touchdown by Curtis Maynard. Now they're up 20-14. So a lot of great potential matchups in the future there. But should the higher seeds remain, Del Oro and Downey, that information about Downey being 10-0 did not know. So that should be a great matchup to anticipate. Should those teams make it through the second round, their semifinal, the quarterfinal matchups, I should say.
Yep. Thanks, Josh. Yeah, some really fun games to think about in the second round or third round if these scores hold up. And we'll still wait even tomorrow. If Jesuit, which on paper, the projection of that Jesuit game is a very lopsided win for Jesuit, 40-0, projected to beat Gregory. So that would set up a Jesuit at Rockland matchup in the second round. That's a very good Delta League versus SFL League game. So that would be a fun one to watch. All right, that sound, the lovely sound, means we got a score.
Yep, Modesto Christian just scored a touchdown to take a 26-15 lead over 12 Bridges in the second quarter. Modesto Christian scored both touchdowns in the second quarter, and that one was a 23-yard rushing score by Ray Corral Jr. He's a guy that plays both sides of the ball, and it looks like he's already making an impact tonight.
Yeah, and Modesto Christian and 12 Bridges, the winner of that, plays the 2 seed in Houston in the Division 6 bracket. Somerville is the 1 seed with Oristimba as the 3 seed. So that's the Division 6 bracket. The winner of the Esperado Union Mine. I don't know if you have an update on that game as of late. Nothing new in that one, but the winner of that game would travel to play the 1 seed. It looks like Bradshaw Christian, based on scores right now, they're going to be moving on to play Marysville, which would be the Division 4 game. And then obviously next week, the entire Division 7 bracket gets underway as well. So, I want to say there's too many crazy upsets going on right now. I think the biggest one is that Roseville and Oakdale and Yuba City and Vista score. All right, what do we got?
Sheldon just scored a touchdown. It looked like it was about a 30-yard score, and they're up 12-0. Both teams in this game have just been dominating the clock, and overall, it's been a great defensive game. And Sheldon might be going for 2 right now.
All right, good. Yeah, looks like some games are starting to make their way to halftime as well. That Turlock Edison game, that one's getting close to halftime. Looks like the Bradshaw Christian game is at half as well. The Dixon game and Foothill is at halftime. And Center and Pioneer, 7-0. That one is at half. Looks like the Wood Creek Golden Valley game is at half. So a lot of games are starting to hit that mark where it's halftime. The Yuba City Vista Del Lago game, that one's at halftime too. This one, the Hawkers, up 14-0 in that game. The winner has to play Grant. So if you're on Twitter, follow SacMax Preps and tweet at us if you're enjoying the show, you're hating the show, or whatever it is, just so we know if this is something to to keep doing, and I know we're having fun and following all these games, Thomas. And Thomas was a longtime reporter for the Mountain Democrat, covering a lot of the El Dorado County schools. Came out of Max Preps this year. Now doing a lot, more than just kind of the El Dorado County schools, but also I know you enjoy. You enjoy following the Sac-Joaquin section, and if for those that didn't know, Max Preps is located in town center of El Dorado Hills, California. So we are this is where we originated here in Sacramento. So we love the Sacramento schools and the entire Sac-Joaquin section. So we're going to take just a quick 60-second break. There's a lot of the games going to half right now. So we're going to just take a quick little break. We will be back, and fun begins as we head into the second half for a lot of these games. We'll be back.
Are you a parent with multiple active kids? Are you at one event while your spouse is at another? That's where Game Mic comes in, the free app that allows anyone to broadcast live audio so that people can listen on the go and feel as if they were there. Game Mic, it's in the emotions.
Have you always wanted to be a sports broadcaster but didn't know how to get started? Well, Game Mic allows you to go out and practice, just like we need to practice as athletes. You can't get better without work, so gain that experience on Game Mic.
What's up, everyone? Thanks for listening into Game Mic. Action should resume as soon as your broadcaster is ready to go. This is Game Mic.
Hey everyone, this is Chris Rivas, co-founder of Game Mic. Thank you for listening in. Game Mic was built so any school, any program, any sport, anytime can create a live audio broadcast. We believe audio brings moments to life. Download Game Mic today in the app and Google Play Store. Game Mic, it's in the emotion.
What's up, everyone?
All right, we're back here for live action of RedZone coverage and score updates from around the Sac-Joaquin section. First round playoffs here around the area. A lot of actual decent games going on right now. I just got a score in from the Nevada Union game, 20-20. So the Miners versus the Miners versus the Lancers, East Union Lancers, Nevada Union Miners, battle of the unions, and it's 20-20. So that's an interesting score, and you mentioned it earlier, Thomas, that the winner of that one heads to West Park, and Nevada Union already saw how good West Park was earlier in the season.
Yeah, that one was a 36-6 final.
Yeah. Yep. So just kind of bouncing around some scores. A lot of games are at halftime. We'll update you on if anything's changing from some of the earlier stuff. It looks like Capital Christian is now in front of Will C. Wood, 21-0. But remember, Capital Christian is actually the higher seed in that game. They just, because of some of the penalties that came down on them, they have to play all games on the road.
Yeah, and like we mentioned earlier, the winner of that game would head to Casa Roble Casserole this year had a great year, 9-1. They're led by Cole Owens at wide receiver, he leads the whole section in receiving yards, and he's only a junior, and he's been making an impact for a few years now. So it'll be interesting to see if Capital Christian can kind of shut down the pass game next week.
That's for sure. All right, let's head out to our man Sam at the Oakdale Roseville game. How are we doing out there, Sam?
Hey, so it's halftime here at the Corral. It's Roseville 20, Oakdale 7. Oakdale turned the ball over on a interception before halftime, and that's where we stand right now.
What do you think, Sam? Do you think Oakdale has a chance to come back from this one?
Can't count out Oakdale, and Roseville has Roseville's defense has been pretty good so far, limiting Oakdale to only 7 points. So I know Oakdale has a explosive offense, and we'll see how the game progresses.
All right. Well, we appreciate Sam as always, and if you're Oakdale fan, a Roseville fan, or just a fan, and you will find a lot of great photos from Sam all over Max Preps. Been doing it for a long time. All right, Thomas, hit us up.
12 Bridges, they were down 26-15, but Nathan Crawford again, he scored his third touchdown of the day. They're down 26-23 right now, inside of 2 minutes in the first half. And Nathan Crawford, he has had quite a season. I believe he's over 20 touchdowns on the year. And this looks like it's going to be a great game. Already 49 points in the first half. I'm looking forward to the rest of the half and the second half.
Yeah, that's a good one for sure. Speaking of good one, Elk Grove, that game's pretty much all but over with Johnson and Elk Grove at Oak Ridge next week. That's going to be a fun one right down the road from where we're at right now. The Trojans had a good season, finished off with a very impressive win over Del Oro. The Oak Ridge, I mean, they're a tough team, and Elk Grove, earlier projections had Elk Grove going down into Division II with Jesuit, kind of the anticipated winner of the Delta League, but then Elk Grove pulled it off. Now they're in Division I, and they'll be on the road playing Oak Ridge. Oak Ridge having a good season.
Yeah, absolutely. Oak Ridge is having a great season. They're 8-2. Both their losses are to Folsom and Rockland. And Elk Grove and Oak Ridge didn't play this season in the regular season, but they have played in the past, and some of those games have been have come down to the wire. In fact, Oak Ridge quarterback Maddox Barilla, his kind of first big game was a 28-27 win over Elk Grove last season, and yeah, so I'm sure both those teams, after a 28-27 game last year, are looking forward to playing each other.
Yeah, for sure. That one will be a good one for sure. Thunder and Herd Trojans next week. So it looks like We'll See Wood has got on the scoreboard in the Capital Christian and We'll See Wood game. Looks like it was a kick return for the Wildcats in that one. So, they're bringing it a little bit closer. Capital Christian in Division 4 this year. Capital Christian and Wood, the winner, we talked about this one, will go on to play the 2 seed in Casa.
Yeah, it looks like Central Catholic is now up 37-0 on Stag. That game's still in the second quarter.
That's pretty interesting game too next week. If you're Monterey Trail, it's nice you got the 4 seed and you got the home bye, but you don't have an easy game in round 2. Monterey Trail's a very good football team. very well coached and a good. So both these schools know how to play football, and that one will be worth the price of admission. That's for sure. That's a game. I mean, all the games next week are going to be good, but that one's one you put the highlighter on and say, wow, that's going to be a classic game.
Yeah, Central Catholic, they've had one of the toughest schedules in the section with games against St. Mary's, Sarah,
St. John Bosco.
Yeah, St. John Bosco.
Yeah,
they're not afraid to play anybody, and the rest of their season is going to be the same.
Yep. So it looks like we're starting to get to that point where there's still a couple games at halftime, but a lot of the games are starting to get the second halves kicked off. So we'll have a lot more updates here coming up as, like I said, as games get going. That Argonaut Colfax game, at least from what I'm seeing, 0-0 game in that one. Just a real good classic small school battle there between Argonaut and Colfax. And I believe Colfax is one of the very few teams that still has natural grass in the Sac-Joaquin section. So whenever you see natural grass, you got to call it out because it's brings back memories of of classic high school football. But totally understand why teams have turf now. But anyway, yeah. What's caught your attention early on?
I'd say so far the Sheldon game's really caught my eye. That game is still 12-0. Sheldon has the ball again right now. But the Nevada Union East Union game and the Modesto Christian 12 Bridges games are both so close, and it's going to be interesting to see how they play out.
Yep, and that Center Pioneer game's close. So really the games that were really projected to be pretty tight, and one of them was Turlock and Edison, but that projection was, the projected of Turlock being the team that gets the home seed was right, but Turlock's putting a hurt to the Vikings. That one's at halftime. Great job by the scorers in both that game. We're seeing a lot of good live scored games that's helping us out. So we really appreciate those people out at games that are live scoring games for us. Let's what do we got? So actually Colfax is actually we actually got a score from that game.
Yeah, score from.
Okay, so let's make sure we get that one right, because I just glanced at the NFHS stream, and the NFHS stream didn't have the actual score on the scoreboard. So what we got there?
Yeah, that game right now it looks like it's 22-7 Argonaut at the half.
Okay, so way off on that score.
Yeah, it's not but yeah, it's it looked like it was close though, according to this Twitter update, and
so it's actually Argonaut with the lead in that game. So apologies on that one. It looks like Argonaut has the lead on Colfax right now. The winner of that game plays Oristimba in next week's game. So Colfax, the 6th seed, Argonaut, the 11th seed. But remember, Argonaut is the defending state champions.
And the D6 bracket, that's a bracket where a lot of these teams have played each other. Like Oristimba, who's the 3 seed, they're 9-1, but their only loss is to the 2 seed Houston, 41-28. And then number 1 Somerville, they're 9-1. Their only loss came to Sonora, who is they're a high seed as well. And Somerville also beat Houston earlier this year too. So there's a lot of teams that have already played each other in this bracket. Could meet again in the semifinals and the finals.
Yeah. Okay. So it looks like looks like I don't know last time we updated this game, but want to make sure we update the Buhawk Colony and Los Banos game. Merced Sun Star has the halftime score from Twitter. Same with Los Banos on Twitter as well. Buhawk, a 35-20 lead at half. So Buhawk and Los Banos, that is the 8 versus 9 seed. The 9 seed is out front right now. The winner of that game be a nice drive for them because they're actually not too far from Bandon, but they'll go play the 1 seed in Bandon. So, yeah, a lot of games are starting to kick off the second half and some blowouts. If you're around, love to get any update you have on that Granite Bay game and Indercom. I know Granite Bay was pulling away on that one, but that one is a good one, especially the winner of that game goes and plays Downey. And I really think if Granite Bay pulls that one out, Thomas, I don't think they're a massive underdog when they go and play Downey. I think that's a very evenly matched football game.
I agree, and both teams are very good.
Yeah,
and they've had some great games that could go either way.
Yeah, no, that'll be a good one. And to jump in here on that Granite Bay Indercom game is still at the half, 17-0 Granite Bay as they host. And as you guys just mentioned, it would be a matchup against Downey next week.
Yep. All right. Thanks, Josh. Appreciate that.
Some stats, if you guys want it. Granite Bay had 128 first half rushing yards. Indercom had 3. Granite Bay had 92 first half passing yards. Indercom had 7. 12 first downs to 2. And Granite Bay has had 16 minutes and 52 seconds on the time of possession versus Indercom just 7 minutes, 8 seconds. So you could say it's been a bit one-sided so far, but we'll see what happens in the second half.
Yeah, thanks, Josh. Appreciate that. Yeah, Granite Bay. Thing about it, Granite Bay, although their record might not be, on paper, you're not seeing like just a fabulous record, but just think about the league they're in,
right?
And how much they are tested every single week. So they're playoff ready because their league is basically a playoff game every week. So they're 6-4 overall. But the 4 losses are against very good teams.
Yeah, no, that's a good point too. And to speak to that, I mean they ran it up in their preseason matchups, going 5-0. Obviously, they had the Honor Bowl game where they played Spanish Springs from Nevada, and they won that 23-3. So once they got in the league, it got a little bit tough for them. They dropped 4 straight before winning their last one at Whitney, 49-7. But losses to Do, Oak Ridge, Rockland, and Folsom in there. So it's a tough league, like you mentioned earlier. If Whitney could have gotten 1 win, they could have made it into the playoffs. But that's how tough the SFL is. So.
Yep. All right, score just coming in from one of our reporters on the ground. Yuba City, another touchdown, 20-0. I think that is one of the big upsets so far. I know they're just projections and they don't always matter much, but Vista was on paper projected to win that game 31-19. Yuba City's defense must be pretty dang good. To me, that's one of the kind of big upsets so far of the night in Division 3. Yuba City 4-6 overall. One of their wins was a forfeit win, but you got to remember that Yuba City has been in the playoffs. This is their 10th straight time being in the playoffs. So they know how to play. Their last playoff win was 2019, and they're from the CVC, Vista Del Lago. They barely lost to Christian Brothers in that last game. That loss I think it was a 2-point loss, 1-point loss, basically cost Vista a bye. And instead, you're playing Yuba City and the winner going to Grant. So you can just tell how big some of these games are in the regular season when it comes to seeding.
Absolutely. Yeah, and we have a halftime score for Esperado and Union Mine. Esperado has taken a 21-7 lead into the locker room, and that's an 8-9 game in Division 6.
Looks like a score has come in. East Union is now up on Nevada Union based on the score that came into Max Preps, up by 8 now. Yeah, and we'll try to get some halftime update from actually Lincoln. I have to see if I can get him logged in there so he can give us an update. And we have a scoring update in the Pioneer and Center game. 7-7 now. The Patriots able to punch one in that game. So this one is going to be a good one. That one's going to come down to the wire. That's a very good game between Pioneer and Center. Pioneer and Center. The Center 5-4. Now Center's kind of has been kind of a funny team this year. It's almost because I believe they took Sutter to overtime, then they lost some bad games. So it's almost like Center can play with anybody but lose to anybody as well. And Pioneer 7-3 overall, and so this is going to be a good one between Golden Empire League and the PVL. And this one, the winner of that game, Thomas, in Division 5 will head to Sonora. So not an easy task after this one, but you got to get by this one.
Yeah, and Sonora, they have some good wins this year, including the number 1 seed in Division 6, Somerville. They're a physical team, and it's going to be a tough test for sure if they can pull it off.
All right, Wood Creek. This one, not much we need to probably say much more about this game. Some of these games, we're going to take our attention off of if they get out of hand. This one is probably one of those that we won't check in much on unless something just drastic happens. But Wood Creek up 35-0 on Golden Valley. So you can almost just lock that one in. Wood Creek will be on the road to play Placer next week. That's a heck of a game to look forward to next week. Lincoln Fighting Zebras up 24-6. So Lincoln, the 5 seed. So Lincoln 5 seed in Division 4. They will head, if they continue this, they will head and play Kimball at the Valley Oak League. If there's anybody out there listening and you want to give updates from games potentially you're at, all you need to do is download Game Mic in the iTunes or Google Play Store and sign up for free, and you'll see our live broadcast right in there. You just join it, and we'll bring you up as a speaker, and you can let us know what's going on from your event. We, like Sam and Josh, we'd love to get updates and different voices in here outside of just Thomas and I. But Thomas is we're kind of bouncing around right now, and it's time probably where we can start to focus in a little bit on some of the matchups next week, and really some of the games that aren't getting out of hand. There's some of them right now, right? Like Pioneer, Center, Lodi, Vacaville. It's within reach. Indercom, Granite Bay. Granite Bay's pulling away, but it's still half. Lincoln Sheldon game, probably the most a game that's going to come down to the wire. Modesto Christian and 12 Bridges. Yuba City is pulling away from Vista Del Lago, but Vista Del Lago can score. Nevada Union, East Union, that's a close one. Antelope Tracy is a good one. And Capital Christian and Wood within striking distance. Any other game that I missed? Maybe Buhawk and Los Banos.
The Rosemont Ripon game is pretty interesting. Rosemont jumped out, scored 24 points, but Ripon, they're coming back and they're down 24-14 right now. That game is midway through the third quarter, and it looks like Rosemont's driving down the field.
All right, let's go ahead and go out to Sam for another update. Sam, how you doing?
Hey guys, right now Oakdale is has the ball on their 29-yard line. They're looking to score against Roseville here in the third quarter with 9 minutes and counting down right now. So we'll see if they can score. Looks like they just scored, and it's 20-13 now.
How about that? Right on cue. Sam comes in hot. This was a great update from Oakdale. Oakdale is right back in the game. Thanks, Sam. Looks like that's a game to keep an eye on.
Yeah, for sure. And it sounds like it's a great atmosphere over there based on that crowd reaction.
Yeah, that one's for sure good. I don't know if Aaron, if you're there, but he may join. I know he was at the Lincoln game.
Yeah, I think the third quarter may have just started, but he did say that he'll be ready for after the game to give an update. He also he told me that that Ryan Henning of Lincoln has 22 carries for 165 yards in the first half.
I will jump in here. Intercom's trying to make it a tale of two halves here. They open the second half, touchdown, take the PAT. So Grant Bay now 17-7. They have the ball, try to extend the lead, but that one not over. I read you the stats there. It seemed like Granite Bay dominated that opening half, but Intercom trying to make the comeback.
Awesome. Yeah. Well, thanks for the update there. The games that we're watching are all close right now. There's a handful of blowouts going on, Thomas, but overall in this first round, there's some really good games going on and we're seeing some teams, doesn't matter if they're on the road, they're trying to pull off upsets.
Yeah, right now East Union, they're up 28-20 on Nevada Union about midway through the third quarter. That one's looking like it's going to come down to the wire, and like Steve just said, there's a lot of games that are far from being decided right now.
Yep. And the Colfax Argonaut game, that one's still at halftime. Argonaut with the lead in that game. Looks like Rosemont and Ripon still at halftime. The Turlock Edison game, that game is pretty much all but final out there. That Turlock, they're no joke. They played some good games. The win against Rockland really is they're probably their biggest win of the season up to now. First out of the gate, beating an SFL team. They lost to a few Fresno teams and Clovis West and Central, and then they lost to Manteca. So you're thinking, man, Turlock's down this year. A 2-point loss to Downey, but that's why strength of schedule matters so much, because not only your rating goes up, but it just gets you ready for games like this. It really does. And I think that's the difference, and that's why Turlock had kind of the seed they got. All right, what we got?
It looks like Center just took a 14-7 lead over Pioneer. The third quarter looks like the third quarter is almost at an end right now, but 14-7 center.
Okay, that's a good one. Looks like Bradshaw Christian, they're pulling away right now in their game. Dixon and Foothill game. Looks like Dixon came out of the second half and kicked an onside kick, and got it, but then Foothill covered a fumble, and then Foothill turned it over. So I don't know what's going on in that game, but it looks like some back and forth right now. But Dixon, the Rams, are pulling away right now. Like you said, that Center Pioneer game is worth keeping an eye on. That Modesto Christian 12 Bridges game looks like that one's still at halftime. Wow, Yuba City, man, 27-0. Nick Afato with a 5-yard rushing touchdown. And the Honkers are rolling in to Folsom and beating up Vista Del Lago. I mean, that Vista team was a good team. They Plaster scored on them very late to beat them in a game earlier in the season. Christian Brothers barely beat them, and you're thinking Vista Del Lago is a team to be reckoned with in that Division III bracket, but instead, the Yuba City Honkers, a 4-6 team, are coming in and providing the biggest lopsided upset on paper this weekend. That's for sure.
Yeah, and they've had a tough schedule, and their schedule just goes to show that anybody can win on any night.
Yep.
They beat Intercom. They lost to Lincoln, lost to Bandon.
It's you're right. I mean, we're at a point now that these teams, if whoever gets hot, if you get hot at the right time, you can make a run in these playoffs. I really don't see just an absolute clear-cut favorite in any of the brackets. Because yes, you can look at Division I, and on paper, you can say Folsom's the clear-cut favorite. But then you look at St. Mary's. St. Mary's undefeated. St. Mary's beat De La Salle by more. So that's not a clear-cut favorite. Plus, then you also have good teams, Oak Ridge and Monterey Trail and Central Catholic and Turlock and all these teams are pretty good, right?
Sure.
Then you look at Division II and you see Manteca, but then you're like, okay, well, Del Oro's at the bottom. Del Oro could play with anybody. Downey's 10-0. Rockland's in that division. And then you look at Division III, Placer's 10-0, but at the same time, Grant's in there, Patterson's in there, even Wood Creek is in there. Wood Creek is an 8 seed. That's a very tough 8 seed. Division 4, people would argue that Casa should have been the 1 seed over Vanden. Vanden can easily argue that their one loss was to Vacaville. Vacaville's in the Division 2 playoffs. They're winning right now.
And Vanden, they beat Wood and Yuba City this year.
Yeah, and West Park's in that one. So, and then you bounce down to Division 5, and it's like, oh my gosh, 1 through 5 is absolutely brutal. I mean, any of those teams could win that bracket. And in Division 6, we'll see. Somerville's a good team, or Stemba 3. Some people have said they're a little bit overrated, but we'll see. If you get hot, Houston gets hot, any of those teams get hot, you're not overrated if you run through the playoffs and win it all. That's for sure. And Division 7, I think it's Ripon Christian who's the 1 seed in that one. I think they're one of the teams that has to go on the road because of violations. So all right, looks like if I'm seeing this right, Colfax has marched down the field and they have punched it in for the touchdown and the 2-point conversion. Colfax on the heels of Argonaut. Good start for Colfax in that one.
Yeah, and Lodi, who was down by double digits to Vacaville, they just scored and they're down 21-14 now.
Wow. So the Flames coming in hot right there to make that a ball game. That's for sure. So yeah, Lodi and Vacaville in that game. Yeah, like I said, so Division II, all season it seemed as if Vanden was going to win the MEL, but Vacaville pulled out the upset there, and Vanden stays in Division 4. All right, looks like we got a score update.
Yeah, Tracy just scored again. They are up 27-14 over Antelope now. Extra point is pending. Rosemont is up 30-14 now over Ribbon.
Okay, so Tracy, if Tracy holds on to win, they will be on the road to play the Golden Eagles of Delaware at Delaware next week. That'll be a good game. Yeah. That's a tough 7 seed right there, to go play on the road at Delaware.
And an update from Granite Bay. Their running back Carter Jackson caught a slant across the middle, took it to the house from about the 50-yard line, but they called it back on a hold. So that's a big call, and they just keep racking up penalties. Now they're back at their own 35, Granite Bay, that is. So missed opportunity there for them. You know what Jackson can do is explosive ability out of the backfield, but he took that one to the house on a slant. So now they're trying to make this drive up with a 3rd and 35 that they have now.
All right, thanks, Josh. All right, looks like Nevada Union has gotten a little bit closer in the Battle of Unions. The Miners, it looks like 26-28, according to some reported scores coming in from that one. That one's a very good game in Division 4. The Miners got hot towards the end of the season. They were not, and I did playoff projections for probably the last 4 weeks of the regular season, maybe even 5 weeks. Nevada Union didn't creep in to the projected playoff rankings until about, second to last week of the regular season, because they were not projected to get to 4 wins, and they pulled off some good ones. And the Miners are right there with East Union, Nevada Union. This is another one. It's kind of like Grant. Nevada Union is all the way down into Division 4. The Miners, once the school of 2,600 kids, now in Division 4. This is the 27th time in their school history that they've been in the postseason and have won 4 section championships, but the last one dating back to 2009.
Yeah, looking at their schedule, you're right. They didn't get in until the last 2 weeks. They won their last 2 games by a combined score of 93-14. So they really knew they had to win, and they got the job done. And now they're looking to advance.
Yep, you just get hot at the right time. All right, Foothill, the Mustangs, a team that needed pretty much everything to fall their way to get into the playoffs towards the end of the season. It fell their way, and now they're in the playoffs, and they are playing Dixon. They have put up their first points of this game in the 3rd quarter, and it's 17-6. Looks like they went for 2 and did not get it, and then tried an onside kick and did not get it. But 17-6, so there's some hope for Foothill. So all the other games have pretty much remained the same. So we're going to take a 60-second break. We'll be right back.
Have you always wanted to be a sports broadcaster but didn't know how to get started? Well, Game Mike allows you to go out and practice, just like we need to practice as athletes. You can't get better without work, so gain that experience on Game Mike.
What's up, everyone? Thanks for listening into Game Mic. Action should resume as soon as your broadcaster is ready to go. This is Game Mic.
Are you a parent with multiple active kids? Are you at one event while your spouse is at another? That's where Game Mic comes in, the free app that allows anyone to broadcast live audio so that people can listen on the go and feel as if they were there. Game Mic, it's in the emotions.
I really want to be a sports broadcaster, but not sure how to get started.
Have you done any broadcasting before?
No, but I know I need experience, but just not sure how.
You should really download the Game Mic app. It allows anyone to create and broadcast at any time.
What games can I
All right, back from break. We'll start with some score updates. Thomas, kick it over to you.
Yeah, the Rosemont Ripon game just started in the fourth quarter, and Rosemont was up 30-14, but Ripon scored a touchdown and the 2-point conversion, and they trailed 30-22 with 11 minutes to go in the fourth quarter in that one, and the winner of that will go on to face the number 1 seed Sutter.
Yeah, that's that's a tough one to go face for sure. Sutter. Another update. Looks like Capital Christian is pulling away from Will C. Wood 28-7 in that game. Let's talk about Sutter. They're a new school in the section. They've been a northern section power. I mean, absolute power in the northern section. They come down to the Sac-Joaquin section and right away show what they can do by rolling to an undefeated season. Some marquee wins, a big 35-0 win over Marysville. They beat Colfax 42-6. They rolled 12 Bridges. Center really gave them their only game. It was an overtime game. That's what I was talking about earlier. Center can win and be in any game and also fall in any game. So Sutter, they know how to win. They know how to play. And now they're here in the Sac-Joaquin section, and they really have shaken up the Division V playoffs.
Yeah, and they really spread the ball out. They have 3 runners that have more than 750 rushing yards, and those guys are all averaging over 8 yards a carry this year too.
All right, let's go out to Sam. Sam, you there? We're real interested in the Oakdale-Roseville game.
Yeah, I'm here. Oakdale has the ball with 3:25 left in the third quarter, and they're on the 40-yard line. Score is still 20-14.
How's the atmosphere?
Loving the atmosphere. The Oakdale band is in the end zone on the far end, and the student section has been pretty loud all night.
Awesome. Well, this one's going to come down the wire, and we'll be back with Sam in a little bit. Thanks, Sam.
Looks like Lincoln just scored again, twice actually in the span of a minute. It looks like they're up 38-6 now over Natomas in the Division 4 bracket.
All right, yeah, and it looks like Vista Del Lago gets on the board for the first time tonight. Johnny Quet, a 45-yard pass to Matt Long. I don't know. I don't want to say it's a little too late there because they also failed on their 2-point conversion, but that one is 34-6. It looks like the Modesto Christian game and the Raging Rhinos, it looks like that one's coming out of half. Wood Creek has completely pulled away from Golden Valley. Center and Pioneer, still a very close game. They are in the fourth quarter. Center with a 14-7 lead, and Pioneer has just turned it over on downs. So center will get the ball. Center, not to get repetitive here, but I've been talking about how they've been up and down this year and can play very well. Center and Pioneer. This one was projected to be a good one. Pioneer, the higher seed. So it looks like we have about 9 minutes to go in that game. All right.
Yeah, Sheldon looks like they are starting to pull away. They just threw for about a 25-yard touchdown pass, and they are up 18-0 over Lincoln. Stockton about midway through the third quarter, and the extra point is pending. Lincoln. I mean, Sheldon is having a good night offensively and pitching a shutout right now on defense. And Lincoln's a team that does not turn the ball over very much. So Sheldon's looking like the real deal.
Yeah, the Huskies have advanced to the second round of the playoffs. In the last 4 times they've made the playoffs, including last year. But it's, a win's a win for sure. And Sheldon's looking pretty strong. But next week they got to head up 50 to play the Bulldogs in Folsom. So Sheldon's got a tough task, but they're in the Delta League. They play a tough schedule, so that'll still be a fun game to watch and see how that one goes. Looks like center just completed a long play in that center and Pioneer game. So we're really now kind of focused on some of the games that are close, and that center Pioneer game is one of them for sure. Looks like in the Buhawk game, this one's getting closer. Herrera with 11-yard touchdown run, and Los Banos pulls within 35-27. Buhawk, 6 minutes left to go in the third quarter. That is a Division 4 game. Los Banos, the 8 seed, Buhawk, the 9 seed winner, gets Vanden. So that one's close. So that's a good one to keep an eye on as well. All right.
And in the Vacaville Lodi game, Vacaville just scored a touchdown. It's in the fourth quarter, and Vacaville is up 28-14 over the Lodi Flames.
All right. So that one, we got that going. We talk about in Division 3, the Oakdale-Roseville game. That one's very close. That is a 7 versus 10 matchup. Winner plays Patterson. Looks like Yuba City will be on the road to play Grant next week. And Merced and Ceres. We haven't checked in on that game in a while, but I believe Merced was pulling away by a lot in that game. The Bears.
Yep, they're up 35-9 right now. And it also looks like Elk Grove and Johnson has gone final, with Elk Grove winning 48-12, and that means they're heading up to 50 to Oak Ridge next week. And that will be that's the first known matchup for next week, it looks like.
That would be a good one for sure. All right, let's go to a good one. Oakdale-Roseville. Sam, what do we got?
Oakdale just scored with 8 seconds left here in the third, and they have a 21-20 lead for the first time in this game.
Wow. What an update there from Sam. Sam, thank you. We'll get back into you here in a few minutes. So, Thomas, Oakdale coming all the way back on Roseville and taking the lead in the corral. I mentioned that way earlier in the broadcast. One of the best places to watch a high school football game in the section, all the way out there in Oakdale. Tough place to get those road victories. Roseville's feeling it right now. That's a good one.
Yep. And Antelope right now just scored again. So Tracy is up on Antelope 27-21 with 4 minutes left in the third quarter.
Yeah, and got an update in the Wilsey Wood game and Capital Christian in the third quarter, a pick 6 for Wilsey Wood. So we'll see Wood pulls within 28-13 in that game. So can't count them out yet. So Merced will play Christian Brothers at Christian Brothers in that game. So Division III, outside of the Oakdale Roseville game, is looking pretty solidified of what we will see. We will see Yuba City at Grant. We will see Merced at Christian Brothers, and we will see Wood Creek at Golden Valley, at Placer. In Division One, it's all but looking like we will see Sheldon at Folsom, Central Catholic at Monterey Trail, Elk Grove at Oak Ridge, and Turlock at St. Mary's. Division One is pretty much a done deal, unless I don't see any of these games even miracle even a miracle wouldn't get them. In Division Two, Vacaville and Lodi. That game is still pretty much up for grabs right now. Jesuit won't play Gregory until tomorrow. Granite Bay and Indercombe still within reach. Tracy and Antelope still within reach. So Division 2 is still very much undecided. Still fun, a lot of fun in that division. Division 4, Los Banos, Buhawk, still undecided. Lincoln looking like they're going to beat Natomas. They'll be at Kimball. East Union, Nevada Union, still very close. Capital Christian and Wood looking like Capital Christian will be at Casa Roble, but Wood with a pick 6. Ripon, Rosemont. That game's looking like Rosemont.
Rippon's starting to roll.
Okay.
To roll back. But they were down 30-22 inside the red zone. But they just threw an interception 4 minutes to go. Ooh. Rosemont gets the ball back up by 8.
Okay, so still a close game. Escalon for sure on the road. Hillmar, man, that is going to be an exciting game next week. Dixon and Foothill. Dixon looking like they were going to win, but still within reach. They would head to Liberty Ranch, Pioneer Center, very close. The winner of that goes to Sonora. 12 Bridges and Modesto Christian in D6, still undecided. They'll play Houston. Colfax Argonaut, still close. Bradshaw Christian is going to advance. They'll play Marysville. Esperado looking like they're going to advance with a win over Union Mine, and they'll play Somerville. So we still got some action here, Thomas.
Yeah, I got 2 updates right now.
All right, let's do it.
Modesto Christian just scored. They're up 32-23. Still in the third quarter, and they still have the extra point. And then in the Vacaville Lodi game, Lodi is just not going away. They scored. They're down 28-20. And they went for 2. It failed. So they're down 28-20 with 9 minutes to go. And Vacaville is going to get the kickoff.
All right, I got 2 big updates for you. Nevada Union just has taken the lead on East Union per score submitted. 10 minutes to go in that game. And from Colfax, Malachi Thompson gets 6 on a 5-yard TD run. Colfax and Argonaut tied in that one. Jorgensen from the Auburn Journal and covering that game. And that one is looking like a fantastic game in Colfax. So a lot of games still to be decided. That's exciting as we come down the home stretch here, Thomas. We ran through a lot of the games. A lot of these games are still very close. A lot of the games are blowouts. The Foothill and Dixon game, that one's in the fourth quarter. Dixon is driving right now. They have the lead in that game. We're also keeping an eye on the Buhawk and Los Banos game. That's a close game. And it looks like it's a man. If you like some offense, that's the game to be at. It's a 1-score game. It's 41-34. Buhawk leading with 1:22 left in that game.
Wow.
So Merced Sunstar on hand for that game. And that's a good one for sure. So it's fun to see these games coming down to the wire. Looks like Modesto Christian, though, Thomas, is starting to pull away from 12 Bridges. And just remember, as it looks like Ross Weideman, a 60-yard pass to Elmo Wharton for the TD. And remember that the Raging Rhinos are only juniors at this point.
Yeah, they have a lot of good juniors. Like Steve just said, pretty much all their great players are juniors. They have 2 great defenders who are leading the team in sacks, and they can score the ball on offense. And it's going to be a great. Looks like 5 minutes left in the third. Going to be a great 17 minutes to close out this one.
Yeah, because the Raging Rhinos, this is the first year that they could actually make the postseason. The first year that they have a varsity team. So no matter what happens to them in this game, they have a bright future ahead of them. That's for sure. Looks like Vista Del Lago was trying to make a comeback. I mean, it's still third quarter, but they just turned the possession over on downs back to Yuba City.
Yeah, and got some D2 bracket updates coming in here. Tracy, is Thomas gave an update earlier that Antelope threw a 30-yard touchdown to get back in that one. It's 27-21. Tracy just kicked a field goal. Maxwell Laird, 28-yarder. So Tracy's now up 30-21. That game's in the fourth quarter. And going over to more D2 action from Granite Bay, still 17-7. They're holding on to that lead. Just under 7 minutes to go. And that game as well. Indercom is driving, so they're trying to pull within one possession in that one.
Good. Interesting. Yeah, that will be a good finish to watch for sure. The Wilsey Wood and Capital Christian, it's third quarter still, and Capital Christian just punted away to Wood. So there's hope in that game for the Wilsey Wood Wildcats. Third place finish behind Vacaville and Bandit.
Yeah, we got a good one out in Ripon where Rosemont, they were up 30-22, but Ripon just scored a touchdown with 2 minutes to go. They trail 30-28, and pending the conversion. So this game could be tied momentarily.
Yeah, that Rosemont is in the playoffs for the fourth straight year. They finished third in the Sierra Valley Conference, and Ripon. Ripon's a very good school. They've been. This is the 7th season in a row that they've been in the playoffs, and the Indians won it all back in 2019. So it looks like this one's going to come down to the end.
Yep, and they just called a timeout. So
all right. Well, we'll stay close to that game for sure, because that game is one of the closest ones we have to go remaining here. So we'll keep an eye on that one. Keep an eye on Indercom and Granite Bay. We'll keep an eye on Roseville and Oakdale. And it looks like Dixon has intercepted a pass from Foothill, and that game's 24-6. So I'm pretty confident in saying that Dixon will advance to play Liberty Ranch. And Liberty Ranch is a very solid squad. Obviously, they haven't lost a game this season. They got one of the top running backs in the section. They'll play Dixon. Dixon's losses this year are to Wilsey Wood, a much bigger school. And they also lost to Casa Roble, who is the 2 seed in Division 4. So Dixon has, they have a chance. Don't count them out in that game. And they look to be playing pretty well right now against Foothill. So the other game that's real close still is the Buhawk Colony game. That was 41-34. That game's probably approaching the fourth quarter as we speak. So we're coming down to the wire here, Thomas. We're coming down to the fourth quarter. Some games have gone final. Some games are blowouts. And then there's a lot of them that are still within reach. So we have an exciting finish here on the Max Preps Sac-Joaquin section. Audio Red Zone. We'll be back in 60 seconds.
Are you a parent with multiple active kids? Are you at one event while your spouse is at another? That's where Game Mic comes in, the free app that allows anyone to broadcast live audio so that people can listen on the go and feel as if they were there. Game Mic, it's in the emotions.
I really want to be a sports broadcaster, but not sure how to get started.
Have you done any broadcasting before?
No, but I know I need experience, but just not sure how.
You should really download the Game Mic app. It allows anyone to create and broadcast at any time.
What games can I call?
Any youth sporting event. You can even share it out with family and friends so they can listen in.
That sounds great. I'll download it today.
Have you always wanted to be a sports broadcaster but didn't know how to get started? Well, Game Mic allows you to go out and practice, just like we need to practice as athletes. You can't get better without work, so gain that experience on Game Mic.
Hey everyone, this is Chris Rivas, co-founder of Game Mike. Thank you for listening in.
All right, we are back on the Sac-Joaquin section, Red Zone. Let's go right away to Sam, who's at Oakdale versus Roseville. Sam, what do we got? You got that?
Hey guys, Roseville just scored a touchdown. It's now 26-21 with 7 minutes left in the fourth, and Roseville is looks like they're gonna go for the extra point right now. Roseville's score quieted the crowd down quite a bit, so I will give you guys an update here soon.
All right, thanks, Sam. Yeah, that was a big score from the Tigers. Brandon Graydon, 75-yard pass completed to Joel Bradley for the touchdown. We got a doozy at the Corral in Oakdale. Thomas, what do you got?
Yeah, Lincoln of Stockton, they just scored. So Sheldon leads now 18-8. That one is in the third quarter. And then Ripon, they were trailing 30-28 and called a timeout for the 2-point conversion. That failed. And they just went for an onside kick and did not recover. So Rosemont has a 30-28 lead and the ball with 2 minutes and 14 seconds left.
All right, good stuff coming. And it looks like Center, a 50-yard rushing TD in that game. So Center has pulled away so far here in the fourth quarter from Pioneer. Roseville made the 2-point conversion, so it's 28-21 in that Oakdale game, and it also looks like it's all but over at Vista Del Lago, Yuba City, 41-6. Thomas, go ahead.
And 12 Bridges, who was just down 32-23, they scored. So they're down. Modesto Christian leads 12 Bridges 32-30. That game is in the third quarter. And it's just 12 Bridges just is staying alive right now.
All right, so we got some good ones coming down to the wire. Looks like Lodi and Vacaville. That one still remains 28-20, so within striking distance for Lodi in that one. The winner of that Lodi and Vacaville game would go to Manteca.
Right now, it looks like there's 6 games that are within one possession.
All right. Well, we'll keep you up to date here with all the games. Soon as we see something, we're watching some of the games, and we got people on the ground. Looks like Nevada Union and East Union. About 6 minutes remaining in that game. Granite Bay and Indercombe still within some striking distance of that. And Thomas, that Modesto Christian game looks like one of the most exciting games of the night.
Yeah, they got on the board. 12 Bridges got on the board to make 32-30 when a junior quarterback, Whit Krause, threw a 44-yard touchdown to Nathan Crawford. And it really seems like Nathan Crawford has been involved in every touchdown tonight for 12 Bridges.
Wow, what a game that one is. Josh, you there? Anything new in that
Intercom game?
Yeah, there is an update on that game. Intercom was making a kind of a last effort drive. They're almost down to 4 minutes left in this one. Turnover on downs, tried to throw it into the end zone. About a 20-yard pass for the touchdown was dropped. And as I'm speaking, Carter Jackson is running from their own 20 all the way to the end zone. He may get there. I think they're going to give him the touchdown, tackle him just by the pylon. So if that goes, then Granite Bay has pretty much got this one in the bag. So they'll go up 24-7, take this first round matchup here.
So yeah, that would mean that all SFL teams, I know a lot of them had buys, but all SFL teams will be playing in round 2 of the playoffs. And Thomas, we're keeping an eye, on that Ripon Rosemont game. Looks like we got about a minute or so left in that game. Who's got possession right now?
Yeah, right now Rosemont has the ball, but Ripon just forced an incomplete pass, and it's 4th down with 1 minute and 13 to go. And
yeah, interesting decision there to throw the ball, and then potentially stop the clock, and that's what happened.
Yeah.
So it looks like though it's still 4th and 13 for Rosemont, and they're going to punt the ball away. So Ripon will get the ball, and they almost muffed the punt. But I think Ripon will have the ball, and they will have a chance to drive the length of the field. What do you think, Thomas? About what are they at? About their own 20-yard line?
Yeah, 20-yard line, 1:05 to play. The season's on this drive.
Yeah, and we don't know, if they got a field goal kicker or anything like that. But what we do know is they have the ball and they got a chance to go down the field and see if they can pull this one out against Rosemont. Rosemont 7-3 on the season, and it's a good one coming down to the wire. Special teams for the Ripon team. No field goal information entered into Max Preps this year, so not sure if. Okay, so it looks like their junior Ochoa, 25 of 27 on PATs. He does have a 47-yard field goal this year, 1 of 2. So it looks like he has the leg if they can drive him. What happened on that first play?
The first play was about a 2-yard completion, and now it looks like they're backing up. Looks like a penalty. Ripon inside their own 20 now with 42 seconds to play, 2nd down.
All right, so we're gonna go we'll keep going back to you. This one is real interesting. Los Banos scored. Herrera a TD pass, but missed the extra point. Buhawk Colony led 41-40 with 11:54. Buhawk then answers with a 62-yard TD run, and the 2-point conversion extends the lead 49-40 in that game. Wow, that game still has 11 minutes to go.
Wow.
So a lot of offense in that one.
Wow. Now, a big update there. And speaking of a lot of offense, another update out of D2. Antelope has stormed ahead of Tracy to take the lead 35-30, under 7 minutes to go in the 4th on that one. They were down 30-21 when we last updated you after the Tracy field goal. 26-yard touchdown pass pulled them within 3, 30-27. Tack on the extra point, they were 30-28. Antelope recovered a fumble, Tracy's own 15, and then they punched it in with another touchdown pass. So that's 35-30. Tracy will have the ball and try to drive down to retake the lead, but that's 14 quick points by Antelope in the 4th to take a lead in that one.
Wow. Great update right there. And man, Antelope, watch out for the Titans. So I think the Vacaville game, Vacaville with a rushing touchdown to extend their lead 35-20. Only 4 minutes remain in that game. So it looks like Vacaville will head to Manteca. Yuba City, this one is just crazy to me. 48-6. All right, what just happened, Thomas?
Ripon just completed a long pass, probably about 50 yards, and it looks like the referees are spotting the ball at about the 28-yard line. So Ripon is at the 28-yard line. That'd be a 45-yard field goal, which sounds like it's in Ochoa's range. 34 seconds left, 1st and 10. Wow.
All right, we're going to stay obviously very close to that game. 34 seconds remaining, trailing by 2. Ripon trying to just complete some passes towards the sideline. What they did right there on 1st down stops the clock. So while we're waiting on that game, Capital Christian has pulled away from Will C. Wood. It's still just beginning the 4th quarter, but Malachi Tayutina with the 45-yard rushing touchdown in that game. So Capital Christian looks like they are going to advance in D4 to play Casa Roble. Looks like in this game, Ripon, they get Rosemont to jump off sides. So it looks like Ripon's going to be all the way down to about the 22-yard line or so, with still 29 seconds remaining to go in the game. Looks like Ochoa, their field goal kicker, has been pretty clutch all year with PATs and only 2 field goal attempts, but he's definitely got the leg. Ripon is going to throw the ball into the end zone, and we'll see what the officials say right there. But while we're waiting on that, let's go to Sam out at Roseville and Oakdale.
Hey guys. So Oakdale was stopped on 4th and 6 with Roseville interception in the end zone, and it is 28-21 right now with a minute and 17 left. Roseville has the ball and is looking to upset the number 7 seed.
Wow. So there's only a minute or so left in the game, Sam?
Yes.
Okay. So, and Roseville has the ball, so looks like that game's all but over, huh?
Yeah.
All right, Sam.
Unless Oakdale somehow gets an interception or something. Yeah.
All right, Sam. Well, thank you so much for your updates all night. Make sure to check out Sam's gallery that will be posted on Max Preps. Sam, thanks so much. And if nothing else happens in this game, we appreciate your live updates all night.
Thank you.
Thanks, Sam. All right, so Roseville and Yuba City, probably the biggest upsets on paper tonight, and the funny thing is both those 2 teams play in the same league. So, and then there's also Antelope in that league, Wood Creek in that league. So, and Inderkum, and Inderkum probably is going to lose, but all those teams have played pretty tough games all night. And it looks like Ripon, it's 10 seconds left to go. Does it look like they're lining up for the field goal?
They weren't, but a timeout was just called, so
okay.
We'll see what formation they come out with out of the timeout.
Yeah, and speaking of Inderkum, they just won't give up in this game against Granite Bay. They just punched it in for a touchdown, 24-13. Looks like they're going to be going for 2 minutes and 43 seconds left in this one. So good timing as you were speaking of them. Touchdown came with the cost. Looked like there was an injured player on the field on this one, but they're going to try to punch it in for 2 here. And we'll let you know what happens after the play commences.
All right. Thanks, Josh. Yeah, that Capital Valley Conference is really stepping up tonight. Antelope, 8. They went 6-0 in that conference, and Wood Creek and Roseville finished 4-2. Yuba City 3-3. Intercom 3-3. So all of them making some noise tonight. Ripon is going to go and try to score with 5 seconds left to go. And Thomas, what do we got?
Ripon scores a touchdown, 5.8 seconds to go. The Ripon came back. They were down 24-7. Now they're up 34-30, pending the conversion. And high emotion from both teams right now. It's
wow,
playoff football.
Yeah, that one looked to be just almost like a 5-yard slant or something like that. And Ty Herron, the quarterback, found, it looked like number 5, Xavier Clark, right? Was that number 5? All right, I couldn't see exactly the number on that one, but it looked like it was a passing TD, and Ripon has now taken the lead, and it's going to be 35-30 with 5 seconds left to go. So unless they pull out the incredible wild lateral type play, it will be Ripon, the 8 seed, that will head to Sutter to play Sutter, the 1 seed. That was an incredible game right there. That's kind of what you assume an 8-9 type of game would be.
Yep, that's exactly what you want, and yeah, lived up to it.
Yeah, so that's a wild one right there for sure. So Ripon had so get this right. It was 21 to nothing in the fourth quarter. Ripon. So they really had to step it up there, and they did, because at one point in this game it was 30-14 with Rosemont leading. So we were almost kind of looking at this game like, all right, that game's almost over, and it looks like I don't know what just happened there. That didn't seem like the smartest play. It looked like Ripon almost kicked like an onside kick.
Yeah, it looks like Rosemont might get a chance near midfield with about 5 seconds left.
Yeah, that was interesting, to say the least. What they were doing right there, I really don't know what they were doing. It looked like instead of Ripon just booming the ball away, they kicked it almost directly at Rosemont like an onside, but then I think a personal foul came in from Rosemont, and now the ball is all the way back to the 35-yard line, it looks like. So yeah, that was an interesting decision, but I guess the personal foul made it. So I guess we got 5 seconds to go in that game. We'll get you an update as that game goes final or not. It also looks like Nevada Union and East Union still 33-28 in that game, and it looks like there's 3 minutes to go.
And Ripon has won the game 35-30. They have advanced.
Wow, what a comeback for Ripon. They will advance to play Sutter. So we have Sutter and Ripon, Escalon, Hilmar, Dixon, Liberty Ranch, and it looks like Center let's see, the center game was pulling away last time we checked from Pioneer. We'll check that score just to get it right. But last time we looked at that game was
It's a final now, 28-7.
okay. So that game is center. So center Sonora. We're gonna go through the Division 5. Center at Sonora, the 10 seed versus the 2 seed. 6 seed Dixon at the 3 seed Liberty Ranch. Escalon, the 5 seed at Hillmar. Ripon, the 8 seed at number 1 Sutter. Let's go to Division 6. Esperado, the 8 seed, will take on Somerville. Bradshaw Christian, the 5 seed, heads to Marysville. Colfax and Argonaut. That one is still up in the air. And we're also seeing a lot of kind of shout outs and just kudos to Trent Merzon, the Oakdale coach. A lot are saying this is his last game coaching. Give him a little bit of hard time for not putting in stats to max preps, but I know Trent and good friends with my brother, and so he's one of the best coaches to ever really come into the Sac-Joaquin section, and he's done a lot with Oakdale. So tremendous career if he is really coming to an end there.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and Steve, quick updates out of D2 here. Game clock ticking down. Granite Bay is going to wrap this one up 24-14, so they're on to play Downey in the next round of D2, and Antelope at Tracy. Update there. Tracy had a 3rd and 26 on their final drive, seemingly here, as there's 2 minutes and 26 seconds left in this game. Antelope got a sack, so seemingly they're on 4th down right now, obviously trailing 35-30. So that would be an upset there as well in this bracket. So the 6th seed Granite Bay officially defeats Intercom 24-14. The final just went live right now. They'll play Downey, and then Tracy and Antelope trying to pull off the upset. They're the 10 seed. Tracy's the 7. And Tracy just took a timeout with 2:05 left. They got a 4th and 26 to save their season, basically here. So we'll keep you updated on what happens there.
All right, thanks, Josh. And it sounds like Colfax and Argonaut still tied at 22 apiece. Colfax has the ball currently and driving. So we have 30 seconds left in that game. Colfax has it 1st down at 10 in the red zone as of just at least a few minutes ago. I don't know if we have anything new on that one. But what update you got?
I have 2 updates. The first one is Sheldon is up 25-16, and they have the ball. That's in the 4th quarter. And then in the 12 Bridges Modesto Christian game, 12 Bridges is up 36-32, and they just intercepted a pass to get the ball back with about 5 minutes to play in the 4th quarter. The Raging Rhinos are up 36-32.
All right, so it looks like Colfax and Argonaut. It looks as if Colfax is lining up for a field goal here. As we follow this game, yeah, it looks potentially as if they might be lining up for the game-winning field goal. I don't think they have punched. They didn't score. So it looks like the Falcons. So this game was 22-22. Falcons, Colfax forced a huge fumble near midfield with about 5 minutes left to play. Have drove it all the way down, and they're inside. This field goal looks to be from about the 16-yard line, so maybe a 26-yard field goal here. This would be a game winner if he nails it. The kick is up, and it is good. So Colfax is going, at least right now, that looks like they are going to pull off the win against Argonaut. A lot of hugs going on across the field. Doesn't look like that was at the very last second because the referees are still going. Now it looks like people are coming onto the field. So, yes, it looks as if that was, yep, they're lining up for handshakes. So, Colfax, game-winning field goal, 25-22 in that game. So, Colfax, they were the home seed, or they were the higher seed in that game in Division 6. So, Colfax will head to Orostemba to play Orostemba. Cannon Tomlin, 26-yard field goal to win it. He had a big night tonight. So, incredible game at Colfax.
Yeah,
So,
quick update here. Yeah, talking about games coming down to the wire. This one, Tracy and Antelope. Tracy has just taken the lead under 2-minute mark. They lead now 36-35. Be interesting to see if they go for two. It would make sense to take the 3-point lead. But the situation was the commentary on maxpreps.com, quote, amazing halfback pass to the QB. They had a 4th and 26. Seems like they ran kind of a wild card play there, or wildcat play, I should say. Had the ball inside Antelope's 20, punched it down to the 10, down to the 1, and then Cameron Ross for Tracy with a 1-yard touchdown run. So that put them up 36-35. Now they're up 38-35 as they converted the 2-point conversion. So yeah, big comeback. The home team, Tracy there. Antelope will have one more chance to try to take the lead at the end of the game here.
Wow, that's a good one right there. And speaking of good, that Rhinos game against Modesto Christian, because I'm trying to figure out the Division 6 brackets, who's going where. We know Esperado's going to Somerville. We know Bradshaw Christian's going to Marysville. We know Colfax is going to Orostemba. Question is, who's going to Houston, 12 Bridges or Modesto Christian?
Yeah, we'll see. It looks like there's about 4 or so minutes to play.
So that one's definitely not over yet. What's the current update in that game?
Right now, 36-32 still. 5 minutes. I'm working on getting something more updated right now.
Okay. So we know that game's going to come down to the wire. We heard what Josh was saying about the Antelope game. Let's go to Division 5. We know Rippon's going to Sutter. We know Escalon to Hillmar. We know Dixon to Liberty Ranch. And we know Center to Sonora. Division 4. Los Banos, Buhawk. Still a good game right now. We don't know who's going to Vanden yet. We know Lincoln's going to Kimball. We don't know Nevada Union and East Union. That's a good one still. And we know Capital Christian is going to Casa Roble. Wood Creek's going to Placer in Division 3. Merced going to Christian Brothers in Division 3. And we also know Yuba City's going to Grant and Roseville's going to Patterson in Division 2. Vacaville and Lodi. Vacaville was pulling away in that game, I believe.
Yeah, looks like that game's the final. Vacaville wins 35-20 over Lodi. Great effort by Lodi to stick in that one and never give up.
Yep. So Vacaville at Manteca. We'll find out if Jesuit or Gregore goes to Rockland. We know Granite Bay's going to Downey. Well, we think Granite Bay's going to Downey. Right? And Antelope Tracy, we don't know yet. Sheldon is going to Folsom. Central Catholic's going to Monterey Trail. We know Division 1 is locked up. Elk Grove's going to Oak Ridge, and Turlock's going to St. Mary's. But there's still some games coming down to the wire here, Thomas. Some really fantastic finishes that we've seen.
Yeah, absolutely. We've already had several great games come down to the last play, Ripon and Colfax, and it's looking like we're going to have at least 2 to 3 more of those.
Yeah, and check out this game. Buhawk Colony and Los Banos. Buhawk Colony has just scored a Ruiz touchdown. The Thunder lead Los Banos 64-40. So we know that Buhawk Colony, that's another game that we can pretty much say is final. Buhawk
is going to Vandal. So Division 1, we know. We're still waiting on Tracy and Antelope. Granite Bay and Indercombe are still game, or Josh, did you say that game's pretty much
Yeah,
wrapped up?
Granite Bay and Indercombe is the final. So Granite Bay
Okay.
won that one 24-14. So they're going to advance to play Downey. Antelope
that's
right
right.
now is driving. They're down 38-35. So this game has had a lot of back and forths. They were down by as many as, I believe, 10. They put up 14 unanswered points in the fourth quarter, and then they gave up a drive to Tracy there. 15 seconds left now. According to the commentary, Antelope is at Tracy's 49, and they're pretty much just running for laterals here. So they're just airing it out and trying to make a last-second play here. But crazy turn of events there as they made the comeback. Momentum went back to Tracy. Apparently that fourth down and 26 play was incredible. I caught a little bit at the end of that on one of the broadcasts, and people couldn't believe it. So Tracy just took a timeout, 15 seconds left. And the winner of this, obviously, it's a 7-10 matchup. Antelope almost pulling off the upset here, but the winner will go play Del Oro next week.
All right. Thanks so much all night to Josh, and Nevada Union gets the win over East Union on the road, an 11 seed, knocking off the 6 seed. Nevada Union West Park rematch in Division 4. If you're just looking at the scores, you're thinking, okay, West Park's gonna roll. But when you're playing good football, you're playing good football. And Nevada Union's playing good football right now. West Park lost to Placer, almost lost to Lincoln. So Nevada Union maybe feeling decent about their chances, even though they got blown out the first time they played. So we know that one's final. So Division 4 is a wrap. You have Buhawk at Vanden, Lincoln at Kimball, Nevada Union at West Park, Capital Christian at Casa Roble. So we're still just waiting on pretty much a few more games to go final. It looks like we know for sure that Ripon will play Sutter. This is Division 5. Escalon Hilmar, Dixon Liberty Ranch, and Center and Sonora. Division 5 is wrapped up. Division 6, right, Thomas? We're just waiting on that 12 Bridges game.
Yep. And it looks like the Sheldon and Lincoln game is officially final. Sheldon wins 33-22 over Lincoln, and that means Sheldon will be headed up to play Folsom this week. Should be interesting.
All right, so we did just get a final. 12 Bridges pulls off the win. 12 Bridges. Looks like number 77, Nick Ochoa, intercepts a Modesto Christian pass. And now victory formation. And looks like that game has gone final. 12 Bridges. The Young Guns will play Houston. Colfax at Orastemba. Bradshaw Christian at Marysville. Esperado at Somerville. And so really, the only game left is Tracy and Antelope.
Yep, and Steve, I'm coming in hot with an update here on that one. So, Antelope's quarterback Josiah Bateman had a long pass to number 12 David Whitten. Antelope's got the ball on Tracy's 28-yard line that was posted just a bit ago. They're within field goal range, 11 seconds left, a 1st and 10 on the Bulldog 28. They completed a pass down to the Bulldog 18, got out of bounds quickly. And looking at the live now, everything is shaking. I believe Antelope has just thrown either a touchdown or interception. I can't tell yet. Everybody's jumping in the end zone, waiting for the official update. But Antelope players look like they're jumping up and down. Would be crazy. Basically, a last-second play as they made that with about 11 seconds left. And yes, it's confirmed Antelope threw a touchdown. So they pull off what do you even want to call that? Like, that's a comeback type of game there.
Wow.
41-38. Antelope has officially defeated Tracy with about an 18-yard touchdown there to the back left corner of the end zone. That's a crazy play. So the 10 seed is going to upset the 7 seed at Tracy's house, and they go travel to Loomis next week for Del Oro. So that should be an interesting matchup there. Incredible comeback both ways. What a heartbreak for Tracy.
Wow, that is some wildness right there for Antelope, and what a night for that league. I mean, really, they showed they're very tough, and at one point, Tracy was up 14-0. They were up 21-14. They were up 27-14, and Antelope just would not go away. They were up 30 to 21, and then in the end, Antelope pulls off. Incredible. We'll have to look through. We'll have to look through some of those highlights a little bit later and see if we could see what actually happened on that one. But incredible win. Looks like Josiah Bateman to David Whitman. Long pass, and then Bateman finds Whitten for the touchdown. Incredible.
So he found the same guy that he threw the long pass to?
Yep, with under a minute.
Yeah, that is wild. Yeah, no, it's official. They're all running off the field now. But, man, it's definitely a deflated Tracy team. You make a type of play like that on 4th and 26 where your halfback throws to the quarterback to get him to come back. And then, man, the last drive. But that was an under 2-minute drive by Antelope, and a lot of poise there to pull that one off.
Yeah, definitely. Well, Josh, thanks so much for all your updates all night. Everything is official. Everything is locked. We are on to round 2. Well, I shouldn't say that yet. Jesuit plays tomorrow. And there are crazy things that can happen, but that would be pretty crazy if Gregory could upset them. But yeah, we're pretty much locked. I mean, even that Antelope Del Oro game's going to be a good one.
Yeah, there's a lot of great matchups next week. And it's like you said earlier, pretty much not only can anybody win next week, but almost anybody can win a section title. Almost every team is in it.
Yeah. What a night, that's for sure. Lots of good games. I mean, obviously there was some blowouts, but incredible night of action. Anybody who stayed on and listened to us, we really appreciate you. If you tweet us at SacMaxPreps, let us know if you liked it or not. That'd be great, because then we would potentially continue doing this down the road. So appreciate everybody who's giving us live updates on the ground and out and about. And Thomas, thanks for doing this. It was fun. It was fun to see some of those games come to an end.
Absolutely. I had a blast, and yeah, great night of football.
Yep. All right, everyone. Congratulations to all those who moved on. Congrats to all those who made it to playoffs. And good luck to Jesuit and Gregory tomorrow. And next week should be a whole lot of fun around the Sac-Joaquin section. All right, Steve Montoya, Thomas Wright. Thank you.